Hi, I'm Matt, here in Michigan.
And I'm Randall here in Texas. Today, Matt and I want to take a look back at a film that came out in 1995, celebrating its 25th anniversary, Hackers. Hackers has a very large, diverse cast, starring Johnny Lee Miller, Angelina Jolie, Jesse Bradford, Matthew Lillard, Lawrence Mason, Renole Santiago, Fisher Stevens, and it is directed by Ian Softly, whose other biggest movie that's well known is probably K-PAX.
Yeah, this movie is about a group of teen hackers who stumble upon a corporate extortion conspiracy, and now the person behind that is trying to pin it on the hackers. It had a $20 million budget when adjusted for inflation today. That's about $34 million, but it only earned about $7.5 million at the US box office. This movie received mixed reviews from critics, but has become a cult classic. Randall, this is a movie that I watched parts of all the time. A lot of times it ran in the background. I think this is probably the first
Yeah.
time I've had a full viewing of it, but what do you think about Hackers?
Yeah, I can see you probably watching parts of this at our mutual friend's Chris's house and like probably in the background running when at my house. I definitely have a soft spot for that. I work in tech. That's my primary job, so there's a lot of interesting stuff in here, and they just throw in the right kinds of words here and there. But it's definitely something that I agree with Roger Ebert's assessment when it came out. You know what? Don't take the computer stuff in Hackers seriously. Even when it came out, it was not quite right, and it's definitely not right or accurate to this day. But you watch it and you kind of enjoy it, and the plot just kind of makes sense from a thin plot perspective. But I definitely have a soft spot for it. I see why this film went to cult status.
Yeah, no, you're saying how kind of like thin plot. The story I don't think is the real big appeal for this movie. A lot of it I think delves into like that counterculture and stuff.
Hack the planet!
Just the visuals and stuff, the characters in this movie. There's a lot of good characters. It's kind of funny the main character, Dade. He's kind of awkward and stuff, and some of the scenes and dialogue is awkward, but it makes sense for his character because he doesn't have much interaction with people beforehand before getting in with this group, so it makes sense that he would be awkward with them.
Yeah, him and his mom and his family when he was very young and committed a cyber crime where he took down 1,500 computers, which by today's standards is just not that many.
But
But
then it was the largest
but
ever, Randall, the biggest hack ever.
Yo, man, this is zero cool! Oh, shit, that's far out.
him and his mom at this point, some 8 years later, when he turns 18, they've moved to New York, and he's now getting to be with people that are more like him. The really, for lack of a better term, cyberpunks of this time, like the 1990s, and punk culture had kind of become a little bit more mainstream. It wasn't quite there yet, but still definitely counterculture, like you pointed out. He gets to in with this group of friends of other hackers, of other computer people. They're not really doing anything bad. They're not hurting anyone. They're otherwise innocent of any real dirty crime or anything, and they're just being put in this position of being blamed for this virus that's going to overturn some oil tankers, and that's it. That's the plot. It's not a whole bunch to look at, and the characters are not very deep characters. Everything's very surface level with this. It is talking about culture and this, the FBI agents and the Secret Service and the business corporations, and then you have the lowly everyday hacker.
A lot of these characters are pretty animated, especially Matthew Lillard's character. I mean, go figure, Matthew Lillard animated in a movie. Oh wow, wow, who would have thought? But
I'm
I think
telling
he
you,
does.
Scooby-Doo.
The only thing I like better than an eggplant burger is a chocolate covered eggplant burger.
Come on.
He definitely sticks out and stuff. I'm a fan of Matthew Lillard in this one, even though his stick might not be for everyone. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's funny that the some of the characters are two main characters are wearing like leather jackets and everyone rollerblades in this movie.
It's a lot of stereotypes about like what punks look like, what punks wear, what punks, that the culture that they're in. And admittedly, I did not grow up, or we did not grow up in a very big city. Exactly the opposite, almost as small as it gets, small town USA. But man, I don't recall all of that.
Yeah, I don't necessarily recall that either in like our high school or scene in town. But that goes too with our main character in this. He's kind of that fish out of water at the beginning, moving to New York City.
Anything else? You want me to mow the lawn? Oops. Forgot. New York, no grass.
And unpack.
What I really do enjoy about this, especially rewatching it, is the interactions between this group of friends and some of the just overt ridiculousness of this film. So, for example, you have a character whose name is Lord Nikon, and at first you're like, okay, that's just a cool name. Oh, but later in the story and in the plot, as it turns out, he's got a photographic memory.
How did you know that? I got photographic memory.
Yeah, okay, Lord Nikon, I get it. It's all so surface level, but I love it for being surface level. It's a fun film to just kick back and watch and waste your time with, I guess. And that's pretty much what I do. Hey, do I have an hour and a half, 2 hours to kill? I could watch The Replacements with Keanu Reeves, but I've watched a lot of Keanu Reeves movies lately. Let's go watch Hackers!
Heck, we even have the villain in this one is also Iggy from the Super Mario Brothers movie, too. So it's kind of funny when he first comes out, strutting or whatever you want to say in the server room. And I'm like, wow, he is just like Iggy from Super Mario Bros.
Fisher Stevens is such an interestingly weird actor. He does some real weird roles, and I think he had that TV series, the Morning Daily, or I don't remember exactly what it was, about the newspaper that was for the next day. He was a main character in that. Fun actor to watch. But I'll tell you, you were talking about the server room. I was lied to. Server rooms don't look anything like that, man.
Just like glass panels and stuff with all the words and lettering that just pop up on these transparent screens.
It's a very, very, very pretty rendition of a server room, and which just takes me back to the very beginning, though. You can't take the computing stuff serious in this film, because it's not. It's very, very wrong. It was very wrong then.
One thing I also like about this movie is kind of like the style of filming. It's kind of 90s, but also I think it's kind of relevant today with kind of like internet memes and stuff. To show like people's thoughts and stuff, they had these quick flash videos of different, like you said, other like video clips. So to me, it almost kind of feels like that meme, internet meme culture where you use other like video to represent different thoughts and feelings and stuff. I thought that was really cool use of filmmaking for this film.
It's not bad. It's not badly filmed. It's more or less aged fairly well, because the techniques they used for a lot of the computer scenes in this, you kind of think, oh, well, that's CGI. Totally not. A lot of it's just very old school filmmaking methods with, colorization, animated, like TRON, actually. It's not as high tech as what's on screen would lead you to believe. And to its credit, it's actually aged quite well because of it. If you had done that whole movie in 1995 CGI, it would probably look absolutely awful today, but it doesn't.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely a 90s movie, and if you are going to take it serious, you're not going to have as good time. Just don't take it serious. It's just, like you said, it's that cult classic, kick back, maybe have it in the background sometime too, kind of enjoyable movie.
If you haven't seen the cult classic Hackers, I personally recommend it. I want to know what you guys think about it, so make sure to give us a comment down below. If you like any of these kinds of movies, we have lots of flashback looks at some cult classics. Give us a like on this one, give us a subscribe, and ring the bell icon if you always want to know what we're posting and when we're posting it. We also have a Facebook page. You can always check that out, and we'll tell you what's happening the day before we post anything on YouTube. For now, I'm Randall here in Texas. See everyone later.
And I'm Matt here in Michigan. Have a good day. Next time on No Market Media. Please consider checking out some of our other videos.